Hello and welcome to our special series of videos called the Car Dealer Problem Solvers. We've teamed up with Sentience Automotive Solutions to provide you with some help and advice on some of the most pressing topics. I'm James Baggett, I'm the founder of Car Dealer Magazine, and joining me is Ali May Cahill, the MD of Sentience. Good morning, Ali.
Morning, James. How you
Morning.
doing?
I had to remember what time of the day it was then. Sorry about that. For people who don't know you, Ali is a car dealer consultant and he and his team help out dealers with a variety of problems across the country. Today, we're going to be tackling how to drive digital leads into your business, and we're going to be focusing on social media. Well, Ali, there's loads of ways to get leads into your business, isn't there? But this time we're going to be focusing on social media. Why do you think dealers should care about that?
Well, lots don't care about it, or sort of half do it, not at all do it, which I understand the reasons. Maybe it's out of the comfort zone, but skills, knowledge, time is probably the biggest challenge for a lot of independent dealers. To actually do it, or resource, because it's not cheap just to employ somebody, to run your social media. So it's a little bit of a catch-22 situation, but why it's so important, why dealers should care, is that it has to form part of your sales strategy now, your sales and marketing strategy. It has to. You can't, I don't see any future in reliance on classified, traditional forms of advertising. There's a place for it, absolutely. But as the only way of it, so there's lots of platforms, I'm not here to say whether they're good or bad, but you've got your Auto Traders, Motors, eBay, huge variety of places, car gurus that you can put cars for sale, and I'm sure they work, and each dealer have to make their own mind up where they spend their money. But as the only way of pulling leads into the business, for our clients, we find the challenge there is margin, because the cars are going up against all the other cars of a similar nature. So of course, it's very much a price orientated purchase to an active customer that is already looking to buy a car. Whereas social media, if used correctly, actually talks to passive customers. They're not in the market to buy yet. So you're catching them a lot earlier in the journey.
Ali, there'll be lots. We all use social media on a daily basis, and I'm sure all the car dealers watching this are going to be using it themselves. A lot of them will be thinking, well, is it really worth the time and effort of me focusing on tweeting a few cars or putting a Facebook status out about a new car that I've got coming? Can you give them a real example of how it can work, and maybe some of your clients who have actually made it work successfully and brought money in off the back of it?
Sure. Well, for a start, you've got to change the way you view social media. So what the illustration just gave there is wrong. If you're expecting to put a post on social media of a car for sale and sell it, then that probably won't happen. It might, if you're lucky, probably won't happen. So then they say, oh, social media is crap, don't work for me. I haven't got the time for it. It's a waste of time. And there's so many channels as well that you can get lost. So first of all, pick your channels and work them well. So our clients, for example, that use another bit, they outsource their social media. So they don't have the time, they pay somebody else to do it. And they choose the right platforms for them. So they might not even be on Twitter or LinkedIn, but then heavyweight on Facebook and Instagram. It's about what fits you right. So I've got some examples here for you as to how it works well. Is we work on a kind of a 70-30 model. So 70% of the content you produce should be about creating a brand as such, getting to know your business, what you represent, who you are, hobbies and interests, really showing the authentic side so that people learn to trust you. And then 30% of your content, a bit salesy, offers for your workshop, finance deals, and things like that. So catching people a lot earlier in their journey is what social media does. What we've found with social media deals and dealers that use it is that the part exchange percentage is a lot higher. So one particular client, it gets 65% of their stock through part exchange, whereas before they were just under 30%. So they're a lot more reliant on auction. The reason for that is you're talking to the customer before they're actually on their buying journey. through social media. So they haven't actually had time or thought about going to We Buy Any Car or, Cars for Cash or whatever. They haven't got rid of their part exchange yet because they haven't even thought about buying a new one. So the part exchange is far higher on that. So that really works. £13 cost per lead was the average last in October to date so far, which is cheap, isn't it? It's £13 to generate a test drive, to generate a conversation, an appointment. 13 quid from paid ads that they've done. Fantastic.
Ali, there will be a lot of people out there running these social media accounts themselves as business owners.
Yeah.
Is that the right thing to do, or do they need to hand it over to somebody else who can come up with a tone of voice for them? Because that's also really difficult, isn't it?
It is.
All of these dealers, big personalities. Do they put that across in their social media feeds?
I mean, there's some dealers out there that do a brilliant job of social media. There really is, and they do it themselves. Highly capable. Got a couple of clients of mine. One in particular in Northern Ireland, they are fantastic at social media. They run it all themselves. But for the most part, it's not viewed as part of the sales strategy. It's viewed as something they ought to do. And the problem with that, of course, is that the day takes over. Buying stock, sorting customer issues out, getting cars prepared for sale, handing cars over, the phone's ringing, got to pay some invoices. So those that do it are probably who are under time constraints and perhaps need somebody to help them with the creative content. So they're the ones that do well with it. They just outsource it. So somebody who comes up with their own graphic design, you just tell them, right, I want these cars sold. I've got these that I need to buy. I want to buy some stock. Social media is brilliant for buying stock. Can you get me some German cars under 4 years old? Outsource it to their agency or whoever, or somebody in their business to create their voice, because there becomes a consistency then. So people recognize your logo, recognize your branding, know what you're all about. So yeah, I would, there's many that do it well, but when you look at some of the numbers, for example, client of ours I've just got it here on the right hand side. Client of ours in Norfolk, run a We Want Your Car campaign. Okay, through social media, spent 300 quid, paid ads. So business they use, they outsource it to, built a campaign for them, built all their templates, hashtagged it up, boosted it, run the campaign. Bought 13 cars, of which in October they sold 9, at an average gross profit of 1,123 quid.
Well, that's incredibly impressive numbers, isn't it? And that surely alone proves that it's worthwhile investing some time and effort into social media.
If it's done properly, absolutely.
And Ali, why did that work? Why did that one work?
So that worked because the campaign they created was targeted, the back end of Facebook was targeted specifically at the postcodes where the cars they would like to buy, with all due respect, are probably existing in those postcodes. So they target the postcodes. Then, of course, they created the content that spoke to the person. So they knew that there was a high density of VW product in this area because of the market information they have through SMMT. The market share suggests that in this postcodal area, VW are quite strong in these. So put it into there. Wanted over 4-year-old, under 70,000 mile, the following cars. So whatever they were, Polo, Golf, etc. We want that. We will pay over market value for them with same day clearance of funds. Boosted it. Bought 13 cars within that 7-day period. Bought 13 cars, saying during the month of October, they sold 9 of them. So I don't know if they sold the other 4 as yet, but they turned 9 of the 13 and as I made about 11 or 12,000 pounds out of it for 300 quid.
And Ali, I think that's probably worth us focusing on just on a couple of the platforms, if we may, because there will be people watching this thinking, what do I do? Is it TikTok? Is it Snapchat? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Twitter? Where should they, in your expert opinion, spend a bit of time and effort?
Okay, well, I mean, I'm not a social media expert, okay? I understand the importance of it, and I guide our clients as a business consultant for them towards it. But yeah, I'm certainly not a social media expert. But what I do, I just look at the results. And what I do know is that trying to spin all the plates is not a good idea, in my experience. So Facebook and Instagram for the motor trade are the ones. I'm not saying the others are bad, but they're less effective. So of course, you're then down to time constraints and spend. So Twitter has minimal to, I wouldn't say it does a brilliant job for motor dealers in my experience. Same with TikTok, things like that. It's more of maybe a brand build, maybe, I don't know. Facebook and Instagram would be where, if you're not currently using any platforms or having a go at a few, I'd start with those, learn them, own them, or better, or just get somebody else to do it for you. So for example, and again, so I just looked to my right, I made a couple of notes, I'm all prepared. In September, those using, that I know, increased their web traffic by 9.8% to their finance application page. So called 10% increase in visitors to the application, apply for finance bit on their website. So of course, that's been generated by social media content that talks about how easy they are to do business with, finance-led advertising. So what it's seen is a 10% spike in the traffic to people applying for finance. I don't know how many have got approved, but that's got to be the way, isn't it?
Yeah. And
that's all through Facebook and Instagram.
So those two platforms in particular, I think there's probably also worth just giving a summary of some top tips. I mean, can we come up with the top three to give dealers who may be considering investing time and effort in social media on what they need to do to go about that?
Yeah, okay. So firstly, first thing I would say, get your mindset into understand you've got two showrooms. Okay, you've got your physical showroom, you've got your digital showroom. Your physical showroom is closed for 2/3 of the day. Okay, your digital showroom is open for 24 hours of the day. So is your digital showroom, inverted commas, clean, tidy, presentable and open for business like you'd expect your physical one to be? So is your website transactional? Do you signpost customers towards how easy it is to select a car and to apply for finance, and whether you offer same day delivery? Can I buy a car? Are you selling cars when you're asleep? Because dealers that have that right, wake up in the morning to 5 finance applications approved, deposits, woo, they've sold 4 cars before they got in. So think of the two showrooms. And then the second tip then behind that is, so again, first tip I would say is give yourself a bit of a spring clean around your digital showroom. But then ask yourself, the second tip is, how do I drive traffic to my digital showroom? Has to be social media. Has to be. That will be the cornerstone of what drives traffic. So what are you doing with it? So top tips for that are, how often are you posting? 5 times a week minimum. Mix your content. Where you get 0 organic reach is because you're always trying to sell something. You've always just putting a picture of a car at 995. No one cares. No one cares about that. They don't want to see salesy posts. They want to see competitions. They want to see engagement. They want to learn a little bit about you. A post that a client of ours recently put on, his mum, it's a family business, so his mum and dad and himself run it, and they were on holiday, so he got his wife in to help. Okay, so he took a picture, and their little girl, she'd drawn some pictures, she was helping to answer the phone. Okay, got it out there. 13,000 people viewed that content. If you'd have put a picture of a car, probably got to about 400. So be authentic and be real. Post regularly, bit basic. And then the third tip is, what are you going to do about managing the inquiries? Because the biggest challenge for dealers is, what if they get 10 direct messages from Facebook? Who's going to handle them? Because, for example, again, I took for our own clients, is that if they outsource it, they get responded to at 10 o'clock at night. And people want that now. So probably the three I would say are, think 2 showrooms, give it a spring clean, 5 pieces of content, work on the 70-30 rule. So 70% of the content should be authentic and be about you and building trust, 30% salesy. And the third one is how are you going to manage those inquiries? Speed of response, because what you want to do, what you have to do is take that inquiry off social media and make it physical. You want to see the people, don't you? You want to get them in and test drive them. So what's your flow for that? Because most haven't got one.
Ali, brilliant advice there. Thank you very much. I know we should declare a little bit of an interest here. I know that you're starting to start work more closely in the social media world. So if people watching this want to get some advice, they should contact you. What's the best email address to contact you?
Well, yeah, you can do. I mean, really, again, there's a business that run social media accounts, it's very niche for the motor trade, which many of our clients use, called Motor Socials. And their operations manager hands over there, Lauren George. It is lauren@motorsocials.co.uk is her email address. And you can find them on Facebook and stuff anyway. But
you'd hope so, Ali.
Yeah, well, yeah, it'd be crap if not. But what they do in essence, and what these numbers are, is they in essence just take over the social media accounts for the motor dealer. They take all the pain away. They create all the content, they stimulate you for ideas, they post it, they handle all the inquiries, and every month give you reports to what's happening. They manage all of your leads. So for the dealers that I mentioned, they've just gone, well, so what have I got to do? Well, nothing. And that's sometimes a better option, isn't it? Just to outsource it. If you don't want to do it yourself, but it's not to say that dealers need a Motor Socials.
There'll probably be a lot of dealers out there that haven't got the time for it. So I'm sure.
Well, that's just it. It's not saying you don't know how to work a computer or work social media. It's that, have I really got time to create the content, design it, post it, manage the inquiry, or for however much a month, can I just shove it off? And where Motor Social seem to be doing quite well is there's no contracts. It's not locking anybody in. They just say, if it's no good, turn it off, and get some great stats out of there. One last one to leave everybody with is a dealer in October sold 6 cars through Facebook. Okay. They sold those 6 cars by doing a series of videos around monthly payments and how easy they were to do business with. Posted all those over a period of time, spent just over £600 in ads, and sold the 6 cars. So it's £100 a car to sell, but just over £1,200 per unit. So take the £100 off. He would never have done that without somebody else doing it.
Yeah, I mean, they are decent returns. It's certainly worth dealers looking into it. I think we've given them some fantastic advice there, Ali. Thanks ever so much. And if they want, if they want more information, they can contact you.
Absolutely, take it seriously. Take your social media seriously. Might not be as big for now for you, but over the next 3-4 years, it's probably going to be everything. So yeah, good luck.
Super. Thank you, Ali. Thanks once again for that. Super. Great stuff. Okay. Huge thanks there to Ali, our car dealer problem solver. If you've got any questions or any topics you'd like us to cover in future videos, contact me. It's james@blackbullmedia.co.uk. If you want to see our last video that we posted, you can find it on our website. It's cardealermagazine.co.uk. Click on the knowledge tab at the top of the page. I'll see you next time. Thanks very much for joining me. Goodbye.